We are James and Rad from Yoga Plus Therapies. So today we're going to go through a class that's really helpful for those people who may be already having osteoporosis, have osteopenia, or those who want to prevent it. A word of caution for those who do have osteoporosis: as always, check that any of the exercises that we do in this class is suitable for you from your health professional. And always be careful and just do things gently with good breath awareness. Now, there's three really important points that we want to do with this class. So we want to help the three main areas that have been shown to cause problems for people with osteoporosis. The first is posture. So if we have that droopy posture, this puts a lot of extra stress on the bones, which can lead to spinal fracturing. So if you do a simple check, if you stand with your back to the wall, you can check pelvis is to the wall, upper back to the wall, and can you get your head back to the wall with the chin level? If not, see how much distance you have between the head and the wall. The other thing to check is, do you have a lot of space? Meaning that your back is very curved and it's causing you to come forward. So, just do those simple checks yourself to check how your posture is. The second thing is your balance. Now, balance is a risk factor because if you fall over, you may put stress on the hip and cause a fracture here, or it could also occur in other joints in your body. So, a good check you can do for this is start with the feet together. Just have a support close by if you do feel very unsteady. And just lift one leg up and see if you can hold your balance well for 10 seconds. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. So, if you found that that was a bit challenging, or you're propped down out of it, then obviously you do need to work on that balance component as well. The third aspect that we want to work on is building up the bone density and the bone health strength. So, yoga can help do this because the exercises that we do are weight bearing. And when we do them, we activate the muscles. So those muscles activate and they create a tensioning effect into the bones. What's unusual about yoga is that we put your body in different angles and places, which also has an effect of stimulating the bones in different ways, in different angles. So we have outward movements for the hips, we have inward movements for the hips, we have balances, we have extension moves. So this creates a whole lot of different challenges on the body that can help to stimulate that bone health. So we're going to go through some of those practices now. Now, one important thing to remember with yoga practice that's designed for bones, and we're calling this special program Bones as Steel because we're trying to really have that image of feeling very strong in your bone health situation, is that there's some moves that we won't be doing. So just be mindful that the most important move that we're going to keep out is flexing the spine. So there are some yoga moves which tend to flex the spine. So in this special class, we won't be doing those particular actions. Also, though it's not too bad, when we do rotations can actually be helpful to stimulate the spine, but you do want to do the spine to twist gently, especially if you already have osteoporosis. But the most important thing is, remember, good posture, and we're going to stay away from anything that tends to flex the spine. So we always want to keep that good healthy spine, the natural curves, or maybe a little bit more work into those extension actions. So always remember that when we do the practices. Okay, so let's start sitting in a chair. So we're going to start our yoga practice in a chair. Make sure the chair you're seated in is strong and stable. If it's going to move about, put it close to a wall to keep it steady and stable. You may need a few extra assistant devices for this class. In yoga, we often make use of a belt. If you don't have a belt, just get a scarf or something that you can hold on to. Sometimes blocks can be useful. You can get those easily from many of the shops. And also laying down, you may find having a blanket handy to give you some extra support. So, we're going to start the warm-ups. Remember, we talked about good posture. So sit yourself, just do a few little pelvic tilts, moving the pelvis forward and back until you find your spine is in that neutral place. So what we're trying to avoid is the slump. We want to maintain that natural curve in the lower back and the sense that the heart and the chest is open, not all collapsed. So you want to feel open, shoulders relaxed, chins level, and imagine that stream through the top of the head, making you tall. We're going to do some special breathing. We call this Ujjayi breath, or the victorious uplifting breath. So, we want to use the breath to, really give us energy and that feeling of upliftment. So, part of this breathing is we're going to breathe into this part, to the base ribs, the upper abdomen. We keep a little light tone in the lower tummies to help support us. And we're going to breathe in really slowly. So we're going to breathe in through the nose. Breathe all the way out. Now to help us breathe slowly and focus, we can create a soft sound in the back throat. It's like a little husky sound, slightly like the Darth Vader sound. So, try that now, just breathing in, breathing out. Take a few more breaths. Breathing in, expanding, and extending tall. Breathing out. Repeat again. Remember to smile. All the way out. One more breath. All the way out. So you can make use of this breathing as we go through the different exercises or yoga postures called yoga asana through this series today. Now, grab hold of your belt. I'm going to do some warm-ups. So I'm going to hold the belt in front of you about shoulder width. If you've got tighter shoulders, a little bit wider than your shoulders. And we're going to breathe in and we're going to raise the arms up. Breathing out, lower it back down. Now as you do this action, when you breathe in, you want to really open up the back and the chest. Breathing out, releasing it down. So let's repeat that. Inhale. Lengthen, stretch up, open, extend and lengthen that spine. Exhale, release. Twice more. And all the way out and down. Really feel how you're opening up the body, getting that energy flow. And release it down. Now, still with the belt, take the belt back behind the head and just slightly support, and then very gently just try to keep the chin level and draw the head back into the belt and release. Just like you're against a wall, we're just trying to help that posture, get those neck muscles working. So we're really focusing on these muscles here. So instead of having the head drop forward, we're trying to strengthen the muscles, keeping the chin level and pulling the head back gently. For about 5 times. Once more. Good. Release the belt down. Give a little shrug out and loosen. Now we're going to do a bit of warm up through our lower limbs. Turning side on again. So we're going to do this movement from the hips. So what I'm not doing is, see how I don't want to bend the spine like this. What we want to do is keep that spinal curve and bend forward from the hips. So the chest is open and we're getting that movement of these pelvic bones moving towards your thigh bones. So that's really important when we do this action of moving forward, keeping that chest open. And this is going to prepare us to come into the squat, sit to stand action. Now, once you've freed up a bit, just give it a go and see if you can stand yourself up. Standing up, sitting back down. Now, when you sit back down in the same way, it's a straightish spine, keeping the natural curves. And when you sit down, lead with the tail, maintaining the curve and the chest open. So always keeping that good posture. So we practice that simple action, up and down. One more time. Push through the heels, power yourself up tall, and release it down. Good. Now, a little release of your ankles. Another one. And just with the wrists, just do some wrist circles. Other way. And a little bit of extension, flexion. Lastly, take the arms forward and draw the elbows back. Lift the arms up into square position and pull the shoulder blades back. Release. Repeat. Feel that strength of the muscles on that back body. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. And again. Last one. And release. Great. So you finished off your warm-ups. So now we're going to come down to the floor for some strengthening exercises down on the ground. Okay, so we're going to bring yourself down onto the ground. We're going to start with something to strengthen the backs. So we're going to get you to lay down on your tummies. Legs out long, in line with the hips. Hands forward just for a moment. Rest your forehead. Just take a couple of breaths here. And just get that sense of lengthening through the spine. Lengthening the legs, lengthening the crown. And when we do this action, remind yourself to keep your chin in and you're going to lift your head up and back. So you don't want to poke your chin out. It's really important when we do this action. So we're going to bring the arms by the sides. With the breath, we're going to draw the shoulder blades back. Reach the hands to the heels. Keep the chins in and lift the heads and chest up. And then lift the legs up. Hold it here, breathing. We're holding for about 10. Halfway there. and release. Rest. Let's repeat. Shoulder blades back, arms reach, chins in, lift the heads, lift the chests, lift the legs, feel the tummy's grounded, hold it there as you breathe, feel that strength and power along your spine, all those muscles waking up. Feel that breath into the chest muscles, into the ribs. And release, 2. One more time. Full locust posture. Arms, upper body, chins in, legs, and hold it there, breathing. Keep long and lengthened, not compressive. Try to use those breaths, those Ujjayi breaths if you can. And release. Let all the tension drop. Good. Use your arm strength and push yourself back up to tabletop. Position your knees under the hips, hands in line with the shoulders, maybe a little forward. Now, we're going to use the little tips, the fingers, to help grip the floor. We call it tiger claw action. That helps support the wrists. Try to turn the elbows, the back elbows, towards your hips. Spread the shoulder blades and find the natural curves in your back. Remember, we're not wanting to round or drop the heads down. Keep the chins in and the heads up. We're going to activate our wrists. So it's going to flow the weight forward, feel the strength, and come back. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale 2. We do that 3 more. In and back. Again and back. Once more. And release. Just check, wrists feel comfortable. And now we're going to take ourselves into a modified push-up. For this one, you might need to use some blocks. If you're really weak in the arms, 2 blocks. If you haven't got the blocks, you could use some books. And what we're going to do, from that press-up position, we're going to shift the weight forward and then bend the elbows, lowering the tummy to your blocks, push to the arms, shift yourself back. Now, if you're stronger, you could use 1 block or lower all the way down. So, you find what works for you. Let's give it a go with 5 times. So, bending, lowering, keep the tummy muscles in, push, and back. And again, keep those elbows in, don't collapse the spine. And again. That's 3. 4. So we call this the Chaturanga Dandasana or the yoga style press. 5. Good. Now we're going to release ourselves back into child stretch, and so we don't bend our spines too much. Again, we're going to make use of some blocks. So we're going to sit ourselves back keep the arms up, keep the heads up, and just support yourself here. So try to keep length in the spine rather than rounding the spine. So we don't want that flexing. We want to feel nice and long and lengthened. Take a couple of breaths. Knees are wide apart. Good. Ease yourself up. Come back into position. Move your blocks out of the way. We're going to do a practice now called the plank. Now, a couple of variations. Get the same position as your push-up. Come forward, press the floor, pull the tummies in, keep the chins in, heads up, and we're in half plank. So knees and arms. Number 2 is, same position, tuck your toes, keep those tummies strong, and lift the knees up. Keep the natural curves in the spine. Watch any tendency to drop the head. We've got to keep the head up, chins in, and watch the tendency to either flex the spine or to cave the spine. Plank means that strong, stable place. We're after about 10 to 15 second hold here, breathing nice and fully. Good. Release, grab your blocks again, knees wide, stretch gently up in that nice extended child stretch. Not letting the head and body curl, but keep long. Good. Ease it up. And we're ready to come up to some standing practices. So 1 foot forward, be strong, come up to stand. Okay, we're starting in a narrow, easy mountain posture, meaning slightly less than your hip width. Make sure you have that good postural alignment. Bring pelvises in line with ankles. Shoulders in line with pelvises, chins level, ears back in line with those shoulders. So again, just remember, we want to avoid that collapse, that flexion. Bring the feet forward so they're pretty well parallel. Feel strong through the toes. We're going to raise the arms up and stretch ourselves really long. Breathe here and stretch long, using that Ujjayi style breath. Heels down, fingers up, long and lengthened. Remember that inner smile. Good. Release. Now we're going to repeat the same thing, but this time if you can, see if you can balance on your toes. If that's too tricky, then just leave that out and do it like we did before. So let's raise those arms up, be long, keep that tummy core, lift up onto those toes and hold steady. Breathe. Full breath in and out through the nose, focus the gaze. Work on that balance. Even me, I sometimes wobble a bit. Make a little corrections, refocus. Keep that heels towards each other. Good. And release ankles, release arms. Alright, listen. Take a breath. Now take the feet wider than the hips. Take the knees a little bent. We're going to just do a gentle twist from the waist. We're going to extend the arms out. We're going to twist to the right first. Keeping the chest open, remember, no bending. Chest open. We're going to twist to the right, bring the left arm in, as you twist the other arm back. Come forward, inhale, and then twist to the left. Remember, if you have osteoporosis, then just do very gentle twist. Always keeping nice and extended. Inhale. Exhale. In. Out. In. Once more each side. And in. Come back. And release. A nice listen. A breath. And now we're going to do the side bend. Take your feet even slightly wider and be very strong and grounded. Keep those pelvises really stable, and again that heart wants to be really open. Right arm first. Bring the right arm to the ear. We're going to be stretching up to the roof corner. So it's not a side bend over, but it's a long lengthen away. So reach the arm, breathe in, breathe out, stretch. Keep breathing as you hold. Be really mindful that you haven't rolled in. You try to actively rotate the chest open and keep stretching long, long, long. Not compress. Good. Release up. Let the blood rush back down to the fingertips. Listen. Second side. Stretch long, breath in, breath out, up to the roof corner. Hold and breathe. Careful not to rotate forward, rotate open. Keep those hearts nicely open. And release. Second time, we're going to add a little challenge if it feels okay for you. Right arm up. Stretch up and away. Left palm up. Bring it up to meet and reach and stretch out through both sides. Keep breathing. Keep strong through those legs. Actively squeezing. Reach up, push down. Work all those side body muscles. And release arm. Release up. Loosen. Second side. Lift. Reach, reach, reach. Palm up. Bring it together and reach away as you open up the heart. Strong legs. Breathe. Feel that energy, that strength. Good. Release arm. Release up. Loosen. So just bring the legs back together. A nice loosen out. Now we're going to do something called wall dog. So you need a stable wall to do this practice. And when we do this action, we want to position ourselves so our arms are near the ears, the chin's in nice and level, and we're going to be bent forward from the hips. Remember we talked about that in the chair, so it's not flexing the spine, but we're going to bend from the hips so the tailbone is out. If you're a bit tight, have the knees bent. So you want to keep those chests really well open. So bring the hands about chest height on the wall, press it in, drop the elbows, walk away enough so that when you bend forward, you've got that 90-degree angle. Chins in, heads up, press into the wall, press the tail back, push the heels down into the floor. Pull the navel in and up. Keep breathing as you actively press. Press the hands, press the heels, reach the tails, pull the tummies. Keep those hearts open. Roll those armpits in. Two more breaths. Good, now to come out of it, walk your feet in, come up nice and tall. Release the legs, release the arms. Excellent. Now we're going to go into some variations of some of the classic yoga postures that we can do in standing. The first one we're going to do is called the Warrior One. Now when you do this, make sure you keep your feet apart about your hip width, which aids your balance. So we're going to come along your long edge of your mat. We're going to step 1 foot back, heel flat, toes turned out about 30 degrees. From that powerful thigh, transfer your pelvis forward. Bring the front knee bent over the ankle. Press the heel into the floor, press the other heel into the floor. And there's 2 ways you can do this. You can think of pressing the feet away from each other. You could think of them squeezing towards each other. So you're always feeling that activation of those thigh and leg muscles. From here, make sure you're upright, the chest is open. We're going to float the arms up. Bring the elbows bent and place the hands interlocked behind the back. If you've got really tight shoulders, it could just be loose fingers. Now, using what we talked about before, keep the chin level and press the back of the head into the hands and lift the breastbone. So coming into a sort of a gentle back bend. Keep elbows wide, the chest open. Breathe into those base ribs. Keep pressing the head up, back and chins in. Lengthen through the crowns, strong through those legs. So everything's working. Take in a smile, let go of facial tension. Couple more breaths. Good. Release the arms. Step back in. Light loosen. Other side. Heel flat, toes turned out. Power through the thigh to drive the pelvis forward. Bend the knee in line with the ankle, in line with the foot, so it's not turned in or out. Strong leg, strong leg. Powerful pelvis forward. Hearts open. Long through the crown. Inhale up. Exhale out. Interlock the fingers the other way behind your head. Elbows out, chins in, heads back. Lift open and expand. Breathe. Keep those legs active. It's not how low you go with these, but how action you make the muscles. So this is nothing about flexibility, but activation. Keeping the good alignment, the good posture, and keep breathing well. One more breath. Good. And release. Step it in. Have a good loosen off. I'm going to do the triangle posture now. So we're going to take the feet apart. This one requires a bit of flexibility of your hip. So if you find that your hip hasn't got the flexibility to turn all the way out, you might need to just modify it a little bit. But always work to keep knee, cap and foot aligned. So we're turning that foot out. Activate the thigh muscle. Activate the thigh and lift your arches. So we don't want the feet to collapse. Outside edges gripping, toes long, big toes especially, gripping and powerful. Now this is a side incline from the pelvis, not the spine. So if you place your hands on your pelvis, you come over to the side, the downside pelvis drops down, the upside lifts up, the spine is nice and long, the hearts are well open, we haven't come forward, we're keeping aligned in that nice position, lengthen through the crowns, the hand position could be your thigh or your leg, feel long, depending on your flexibility. If you feel okay, you could reach the other hand up to the sky, and you could think as though you're drawing your arms away from each other. Just feel that nice extension in all ways. Remember to breathe. Good. Bend the knee a little, use that to help bring you up. One thing to remind yourself too is as you go forward, this pelvis may just come forward a little bit, especially if you've got that tightness in the hip. That's important to maintain that alignment of the spine. Okay, let's do the other side. Try to turn that foot out 90 degrees, kneecap in line with foot. Active quads, arches up. Big toes, powerful. Hands on pelvises. Side incline those pelvises, lower down, upper up. It might swing forward just a little to keep that alignment. Hearts open, long through the spine, that angle. Hand support where appropriate, or reach and reach. Open and spread. Remember, it's not about range of motion with the Bones of Steel program, but the activation of your muscles and good breathing. In fact, often when we push ourselves to range of motion, we turn the muscles off, so we're not going to get the same benefit on the bone stimulus. One more breath. Good. Bend the knee a little, support to come back up. Feet forward, walk them in. Have a good listen. Excellent. Now we're going to do a really tricky balance. One of the great postures in yoga called the half moon balance. This is an excellent stimulus for the hip opening. We're going to make use of the chair, so you want to make sure you've got a nice sturdy chair that's not going to move. And we're going to start a little bit like the triangle posture. So your foot's going to face the chair, the knee's a little bit bent, the other foot is turned out. Our goal, when you come into the balance, is to keep the pelvis open forward, not rolled in. So we've got to think of using those outer hip muscles to do this action. So, good alignment of the posture. Place a hand lightly on the chair and just see if you can lift the back foot off or up. If you feel stable, you could reach the other arm up. Feel that openness of the pelvis. Feel the activation of those down leg glutes. Arches up. Long through the crown, long through the heel. Keep breathing, keep smiling. As you get a little better, you might lighten the touch. So relying more on your balance. Good. Release slightly. Come back up. I'm going to turn the chair the other way so your back's not, so my back won't be to it, just to demonstrate the other side. So, Knee foot faces the chair, like triangle, little bend, side incline, plant the hand, get your balance, lift the foot, or lift it all the way up. Open the pelvis, activate those glutes, reach the arm if it feels appropriate. Balancing through the stance leg, lengthen heel, lengthen crown. Remember to breathe. This is hard work. Couple more breaths. Good. Lightly release. Come back up. Feet forward. And a good shake out. Now this one we're going to sit yourself on a chair. Again, remember, hip hinge. So you've got to keep that back extended when we do this one. Not collapsing. Now we're going to turn to the side. So one foot forward, the other foot back, heel lifted. Nice, strong, lunge type position. Hearts are open. And then, arms up. I'm going to twist ourselves to face the chair back. As you do this action, push your foot down, push your back toes down, almost as though you're trying to lift yourself off the chair as you make that twist. Remember, if you have osteoporosis, be gentle. Maybe it's just a really gentle twist. Keep the hearts open. Okay, pressing the foot down. Trying as though you're lifting off the seat. Good. Gently release. Open up. Have a little rest. So this is the opposite of the half moon. We've rotated our hips inwards, so we're creating a nice stimulus the other way for the hip joint. So it's a really good one for hips. Okay, second side. 90 degrees, pushing down, reach it back. Nice and upright, hearts open. From here to that gentle twist. Remember, very gentle if you have osteoporosis. Otherwise, twist it around as though you're trying to reach to hold the chair back either side. Keep long, keep pushing down, almost trying to lift off the chair. Soften the shoulders, keep lengthening the crowns, keep opening the hearts, rotating from your ribs and your waist. Good. Slowly release. Listen, have a breath pause. Now we're going to do a little bit of dynamic practices. This helps our balance and creates a little bit more stimulus, stress into those bones. As always, take care with these if you do have joint problems in your lower limbs or your back. So the first one we're going to do is just establish a nice marching rhythm. What you want to make sure you can do is when you bring your foot down, lower toe to heel. So you want to get that toe to heel action as you do the march. This creates that preparation for doing the jumps. Let the arms just find a natural rhythm. Keep the bodies upright, the hearts open. And really keep that good tummy core. You want to do at least about 20. Good. Now next one is the dynamic step back. If your balance is not good, you could have a chair close by to give a bit of support. What we're going to do is reach, step, reach and step. So to gain that balance, we bend the knee, we keep the bodies upright. Keep the back leg reasonably straight. The heart's open. Keep breathing. Again, up to 20. You will feel this will get the heart rate going. So if you're not fit, rest when you need. Again, if you're not steady, use the chair. Getting to about 20. Good. Good shake out. Now we're going to do the jumps. Jumps are excellent for bone health, and they create what we call a power move. Okay. Now, again, you may need a little bit of support if you need for this. If you do have joint problems in the lower limbs, the back, it doesn't feel good, leave it out. The trick to jumps is to landly. So you've got to lightly land like we did with the marching. Toe to heel. Rather than down heavy. So we don't want any heavy landing. It's got to be very light. So with soft knees, just try little jumps. See how it feels. Use support if you need. If your joints are a little more healthy, you could do a little bit more jump. But it's more about finding a nice rhythm, be comfortable. Lightly land. Could add a little arms. Keep nice and extended. Rest as you need. Excellent. Have a good breath. Let's actually take a nice full breath. All the way out. Good, listen. You feel lots of circulation and warmth from these ones. Excellent.
Do the Japanese walking. Japanese jumping walking. No good?
Now we're going to do something to really strengthen and stimulate the thighs. At the warm-up, remember we did chair sit to stand. Now we're going to do the chair stand, but with one leg at a time. So sitting to the chair front, 1 foot back, 1 foot a bit forward. Keeping that good position, and make sure you keep that knee always aligned to the foot. So we're going to just gently prow yourself up, calm back down. Do that 3 times. Use your arms as you need for balance. Now, we're going to just hold it. So we're going to come up, bring the arms where you need, and just hold the balanced chair. Really feel that power and the work. We're aiming for about 10 to 15 seconds. Keep that extension, the hearts are open, the knees aligned. Good. And release. Have a bit of a breath pause. Loosen off your leg. We try the second side, so the other leg's back and the one a little forward. Keep good alignment. 3 warm-ups. Stand up, down, now this is the hold. Coming up, hold very steady, breathe and focus. You could even lift the heel of the front leg a little if you wanted. Good. Have a little rest. Now, with time, when you get more flexibility, you could do variations of that practice, like the sage sit, where you have the knee open in a lunge position and you could be practicing. It's the same thing. We're challenging that strength. So just giving you some ideas. Remember, yoga is about fun and exploration as well, not just rigidly doing the same things. The sage sit balance is a nice variation of the same practice. Okay, now we're going to do the hamstring. Now, you might want to use a belt with this one. You might want to also have a blanket, if you're more flexible, to support the back of your chair. A square back chair is preferred to a round back chair. Now, according to your flexibility, 1, plant your foot on the chair, stand nice and tall. This is stage 1. Keeping the knee just off lock. Stage 2, if you're a bit more flexible, foot's on the back of the chair and we're holding position. Breathe easy. Good. Now, the variation to this, from stage 1, you could use your belt. Opposite hand holds the belt. Keep nice straight back and turn yourself. You could reach the arm. That little rotation through the waist. The same thing would apply in the lifted position. If you're really good, you might eventually be able to do it without the support. So that's something to work towards. So have a rest. And let's do the other side. This is stage 1 position. Heart's open. You can even use your belt and reach tall with this. Or do the same thing with stage 2. Reaching up helps to keep that nice spinal extension. Good. Stage variation, the twist. So 1 could be here, or the reach, or if you're in lifted position, or eventually you could actually have it up. Good rest, release. Now keep the belt with you if you've got really tight quads, because you might need to use it. If we turn the chair around to use support. So we're going to do what's called dancer stretch. This is the stretch. If you've got a tight ankle or quads, you could be using your belt to support it this way. So our action is align the knees, heels in, hearts open. If you're not needing to use the chair, reach the arms. Focus. An advancement of that is to bring it into a little back bend. You could bowstring the heel away and up and reach out. Good. So remember, it's all about the heart being open. Let's try the second side. We'll have the chair the other way. So aligning the knees, open up one, holding. If you don't need to hold, reach the arm and really lengthen. Knee down, fingers up. Breathe, smile, focus. Remember the advancement. Bowstring, reach the heel back, lift the heart, reach the arm out. Good. A light shake. Take a nice breath. Now for the last part of the program, we're going to come down to seated position. Down onto the ground. Legs out to the front, bent up. Remember the posture. Sometimes if you're really struggling with this one, you could support yourself. A few levels to this. Stage 1. Lengthen the spine, hearts open, lean slightly back with a little support. Focus on drawing the navels in. This is 1. Keep the chins in, heads back. Number 2, lightly hold, keeping that lean, but not. This is what we're not wanting. We don't want to flex the spine. We want to keep good extension. 2, arms are free. If you can, bring the legs up. Whoop. Get your balance. Keep that extension. Keep focusing on that belly and navel. Good. To relax, open the knees, hand support. Recover. I'm going to do it twice more. So, 1, 2, 3, 4. Keep long, lengthened, navels in. Little breaths. Smile, smile, smile. Rest. Modified cobbler. Last one. So 1, 2, 3, or 4. Great. Little rest. Now, make sure your blanket's a bit close by if you need it, so not too far away. We're going to come down onto your back. So we're going to come down, roll to your side, roll yourself down and onto your back for bridging. Knees are up, trying to get knees in line with ankles. Hands to the sides, palms up if you can, and draw the shoulders back. Chins in, long through the neck. Lightly draw the tummies in. And then lift to bridge. Activate the glutes. Hold and focus. Good. Now, we're going to do the same thing, but if you're strong, we're going to lift one foot off, what we call single bridge. So, lifting up, stay with double bridge. If you're steady, lift one foot away where you can hold it, and try to keep the pelvis steady, activate that glute, holding nice and stably. Good. Release. Remember which leg you just worked, and we'll do the other side now. Lifting up. Second side. Glute. Steady pelvises. Breathe. Relax the neck. Chins are in. Push the shoulders back. Push the heel down, reach the toes up, and release. Good. Just do a really nice gentle twist to release any tension. Just a few times. Feet are apart when we do this twist. Now when we go into relaxation, you may find it helpful to use a blanket. So just to demonstrate. So you have the bottom resting on the floor, and then just the blanket support for the upper back and the head. You could even tuck it in a little bit to keep support for the neck. You want to feel like you've got a nice straight open body, arms to the sides, feet apart. Make a big yawn. And relax. Relax your toes. Relax your calves, relax your knees, relax your thighs, relax your hips, relax your lower back, relax the upper back, relax the shoulder blades, relax the shoulders, relax the palms, relax the arms, relax the belly, relax the chest and heart, relax the neck and throat, relax the jaw, relax the face, take the inner smile, relax the eyes, relax the forehead, relax the whole scalp. Coming back from relaxation now. Take a full body stretch, reach the arms overhead. Circle the wrists. Circle the ankles. Lengthen. Deep breath in. All the way out. Lower the arms, bring the knees bent up. Gently roll to one side. Support and come up to sit. Take a moment, check you're not lightheaded. And now we're going to come into a chair for final practice. Our final practice is the chair spinal breath meditation. As we did at the start, remember good posture. Do a few pelvic tilts to find that nice natural curve to the lower back. Knees apart, feet flat, hands rest on the thighs, palms open. Shoulders drop, spine lengthened up through the crown. Keep the chin level and rest the head back. Take the inner smile. Meditation is a powerful tool to release deeply held stress and tension. It's well recognized that when we have chronic stress, this produces something called cortisol, and cortisol is not good for the bones. So meditation can be another complementary tool to helping with bone health. Allow the eyes to close. Watch your breathing. Just stay with the breath. There's nothing but breath. Stay tall. Remember, you don't want to slump. Keep tall and lengthened. If you have a tendency to slump, put support in to keep good posture. Now bring awareness to the spine, the tailbone, the lower back, the middle back, the neck, the head, and the top of the head, the crown. We're going to do a spinal breath awareness. You need to use imagination here. Keep watching the breath. Take awareness to the tail. As you breathe in, allow your awareness to travel up the spine towards the crown. As you breathe out, allow your awareness to travel back down the spine and ground at the tailbone. Inhale, watching the breath go up. Exhale, back down. If it helps, imagine this like energy. So as you inhale, imagine like a flow of energy spreading up the spine towards the crown of the head. And as you breathe out, that flow of energy goes right back down to the tail. If this is all too much, just watch the breath and just focus on the breath. Everything is about a tool to keep us focused. Focusing is what allows all the stresses to seep out. Let go of all unwanted thoughts and be present in the moment with the breath. Now, feel free to keep meditating. You can meditate for 3 to 9 minutes. Otherwise, when you feel ready, breathe in, bring the hands together at the heart. Lightly open the eyes. Make a gentle rotation of the neck or the body. Coming back fully from meditation. James and Rad from Yoga Plus Therapies would like to thank you for sharing this great, what we call our Bones of Steel yoga class, number 2. We hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, tell your friends. The more who practice this, the more benefits for them. And if you really liked it, remember, subscribe. Remember to tick notify so that you can get all our new classes as they come out. Otherwise, until next time, Namaste.